I'm Jim.
And I'm Frank.
And I'm Jerry.
And this is the JFJ Conspiracy Podcast, where the shop talk is rock. Episode
Hmm.
112, finally.
Yeah, boy.
Finally, we're running a little behind.
A little behind here. And it all goes down to Jim and some skateboarding escapades. And
Yeah.
before we started recording this episode, folks, Jerry and I are just kind of in awe right now because of the story that Jim had shared with us. Uh, Bravo, Jim. Bravo to still be out there grinding and
Grinding rails.
just
Freaking,
amazing.
oh,
Yeah.
man.
It takes me enough to get from the front of the house to the car anymore.
Yeah.
And here you are hanging 10,
That's
being
it.
a baller shot caller. I love it.
That's it.
Well, in the words of Jay Adams, uh, you didn't stop skateboarding because you got old. You got old because you stopped skateboarding.
There
There
you
you
go.
go.
No truer words have been said.
And that's it. That's it.
Yeah. I'm afraid
Well
my
done.
skateboard it would take me longer to get the dust off of it than it would be for me to actually ride it even down the block and back. It's been sitting in the garage for so long.
You need compressed air, sir.
I probably would get a compressed disc if I got on it. So,
Right. Right.
but that being said, welcome back. We're glad. We hope you're doing okay. I know you have
Yep.
some mobility issues right now,
Yep.
but you're on the road to
Welcome
recovery.
back, Jaime. Yes,
It's good to be back, man. It's good to see
Yes.
you guys.
it is. Good to see
Yes.
you.
Um, Not a lot going on in the world of music as far as news goes that I can think of off the top of my head. Um, I always try not to report a death or some sad sack news. So
Yeah.
uh, with that, let's talk about a crossover episode we're going to be doing quickly. Matter of fact, probably recording it next week with our good friends from the Paisley Stage Raspberry and Rhyme podcast. It's all
Yes,
tied
sir.
into the classic album that we're going to be reviewing tonight,
Right.
which is 3 o'clock's Baroque Hoedown. Now, to the best of my understanding, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, what we're going to do is on that particular album, there are some cover tunes that
Yes.
the 3 o'clock covered. One of them is from Pink Floyd. One of them is from the Byrds, and one of them is from a Australian band called the Easy Beats. Now, on our episode, we're going to talk about Pink Floyd, and we're going to talk about the album that particular song came from. And here it is. Here, I dug it out. Um, the tune that the 3 o'clock covered was Lucifer Sam,
For
excuse
Sam.
me, and they did a pretty close cover. They didn't really venture too far off from the original, but we're going to review the whole album, and we're going to have Jeffrey and Soraya on with us to talk about this particular album. Now, we're going to turn right around and record a second episode with them leading the charge, and we're going to talk about the Easy Beats and the song Sorry. So it should be a fun couple of hours.
Yeah.
So, what are
Looking
your
forward
thoughts?
to it.
Yeah, what are your thoughts about that, Jerry?
I'm hip.
I
More
know
music
you
to
are.
listen to. Yeah, more music to listen to, more things to cover. And of course, those are fantastic podcast buddies of ours,
Yeah.
Jeffrey and Soraya. So yeah, it's going to be groovy. We haven't done a show with them in quite a while. Yeah.
Right.
I was a little surprised they didn't pick the Birds, quite honestly.
I think
But
that was the obvious pick. I think that's why.
well, that makes sense then.
Yeah. And I couldn't pick the Birds. I was going, they were gracious enough to let us pick first. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, no,
You
not
were
the.
all over that Pink Floyd, I noticed.
Right away.
you
Yeah.
know, it was something I was familiar with. So it was a little easier.
I probably only know two or three Easy Beat songs, I think.
Yes. Now, that particular album, Volume 3, is a
Has
fun
a
record.
ton. Yeah, it's a lot of tunes.
It's a fun record.
Yeah.
And of course, an interesting note on that, George Young Angus's older brother
Angus and
is
Malcolm's older brother. Yeah.
yeah, he's in that band.
Yes.
And reading up on them, and you guys read, they rivaled the Beatles during the time in
Right.
Australia. I didn't know that.
Wow.
I learned quite a bit, and their songs are awfully Beatlesque, but it is
Yep.
of the times. They're great
A
stuff.
lot of things were Beatlesque.
Back then,
True.
yep. You
So
ain't
true.
kidding.
Yep. So that'll be, we're probably going to turn around and I'll get with Jeff on when we're going to release that particular episode because we want to do it right. Bam, bam, just get them out there as soon as possible. So he's got some exciting stuff for their next episode. I won't share that. I'll let him do that. But moving right along, I do have a mail call. And I know we talked, Jim. You're staying in that chair. You're not going anywhere.
I'm not getting up.
Okay.
Nope.
And I don't blame you. But first, I've been listening to a lot of newer blues music, and I picked this up. It's called Death Wish Blues from Samantha Fish and Jessie Dayton. And she's an up and comer.
I've heard of her. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, check out her music on iTunes
Yeah.
or bluesy guitarist, singer, real fun, nice yellow
Beautiful.
vinyl. And picked this up because it came with a autographed flat also.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So on the lyric sheet and the whole bit.
Wow. Nice packaging.
It is.
Yeah.
Samantha Fish and Jessie Dayton, Death Wish Blues.
What label is that on?
Let me see here. We're going with Rounder Records.
Oh, Rounder. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Now,
that's essentially a blues label.
yes. And my second piece is a reissue, I think from 1983. You may know, Jim. How about Out of Step from Minor Threat?
Minor Threat.
What's beautiful about this? White vinyl.
Oh, sweet.
Isn't that nice? Actually, I picked that up off of Bandcamp. But yeah, this is I think originally came out in 83, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Minor Threat. One of their good ones. Came with a poster also.
Oh, sweet.
All
And a
right.
lyric sheet. See?
Oh, good old days. Yeah.
Yeah. Always got some good fun stuff.
Now, did you order that direct from them?
Off of their Bandcamp site, yes.
Okay.
And
just out of curiosity,
Hmm?
can you share the cost on that?
that I got it in my house for $25.
Okay.
Yeah.
They were always great about selling things extremely cheap.
Right.
They ran their own label, and everything was much, much cheaper than any other independent label or anything else. And they were always kind of adamant about, like, we want our stuff to be accessible. And
right.
So $25 for colored vinyl.
And
yeah,
lyric sheet and poster. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is basically right. $20 for the record and $5 for the shipping.
Exactly. Roughly. Yeah. And I will say it came in a matter of 2 or 3 days. I didn't wait long for it at all. I was wondering if it was going to show up for this episode. So
very cool.
Groovy.
Anyways, that's my mail call, and we will move on from here. Let's go right into some new music from Jerry. What do you got this week?
Yes, sir. Jim and Frank. The artist is Professor Electric, and been around since about 2017. I found some stuff goes way back. He's on iTunes, which is my vehicle. Of course, we got him off of Bandcamp. Professor Electric is a one-man tour de force, gentlemen. You know how I love that. The name of the album Frank's going to spin is from last October. It's called Rot Gut. And the song is Loco Motives. 2 separate words in this case. All things social, Professor Electric. And his little short ditty bio is hideous one-man band preaching hellfire and brimstone across the desert sand. I love it. Thank you, Kyle, for getting back to us. I asked him for more info. He said, "That's good." So again, but I kind of
enough for you.
Mystery. Well, it is. We have my notepad, but I like that mystery. Yeah. I like that. He goes, that's cool, but and I love that for some reason. Out of Las Vegas, Professor Electric, and this tune is Locomotives.
All right, there is Professor Electric with Locomotives. To me, that is just some lo-fi goodness all the way around.
That's pure juice. Yeah.
What were your thoughts there, Jim?
Boy, there's a lot going on with that.
For one guy, huh?
I was trying to think. I was trying to think. What would I, if I had
lay down first? Yeah.
Well, if I had to pigeonhole this into, say, a genre, I don't know that it fits nicely into anything.
No.
Yeah. Some of the comments were funk. Yeah. Some were
industrial blues.
Yeah.
There you go.
Blues. Yeah.
Industrial blues. It's got kind of a garagey feel, and that whole snare thing they had going on kind of reminded me of like a Violent Femmes vibe. I like this.
Yeah.
Like, so it's I don't know. I find it very fascinating. I thought it was just really well done. It's unique. It's something unto itself, which is, I like that.
And I don't know if the horns are generic native instruments or if they're, I don't know, but man, you hear them and you just want more.
Well, I kept waiting for the last verse, and it was just like a long outro, and I was like,
bluesy outro. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
And somehow it was better.
Yeah, it worked out nice. I was expecting a fast finish, not a fade out, because of the style of the song going so just in your face,
so like just
rugged,
crash at the end or something,
right? But
no, I really enjoyed the outro, actually.
Yes, me too.
And it was almost getting to the point where I was like, how long is this song?
I saw the look on your face.
Yeah, I saw it too, Frank. He was getting worried.
I saw you looking at him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you knew it crossed my mind, right?
Yeah.
But like,
he's looking at his hourglass. Yeah.
No, because what I was thinking is, he's got like another verse and like
two
verses to get out of this thing.
This is good now.
This ended, and I was all like,
3 minutes 23 seconds. Not bad.
Perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
Not bad. So that is Professor Electric.
Yeah, out of Vegas,
and straight out to Professor Electric, and to our next band. My apologies, because I reached out to these guys 2 months ago, and they all got back to me right away. Yeah, we'd love to be on the show. And of course, I bank acts as long as I can, so that way I've always got somebody to go.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we had, Tony Hawk here having these issues. So
grinding some rails.
Yeah. So, but we're here. We got you, Professor Electric. We love it.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you, Kyle.
Worth the wait, whatever it was.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Good point, Jaime. Good point.
Yep. I'm going to do things a little bit differently. Usually we do right into the classic album, but right now, let's jump on that riff. Last episode, if anybody even remembers, I'm not even just going to play it. I'm just going to let you know it was Ted Nugent. The song itself was Turn It Up. It wasn't a hit. It was just off of his Free for All album. And not going to bore you with trying to play that again. But I do have a riff that you may know. And if you don't, you should know, because you'll probably be seeing it in the theaters or hearing it very soon. It goes something like this. Now, I played a little bit longer for you because you got to know it. You just got to know it.
I know I do.
You've heard it. I know you've heard it.
I'm so bad at that. Yeah.
Yep. Anyways, that is the riff. Can you name that riff? If you know it, put it down in the comments section. Let us know. And there will be a movie very soon, if not already in the theaters or streaming or somewhere, where you can hear that very song. I guarantee you. So with that in mind, I'm going to tell you about a band that I found. They're called the Bellow Cranes. And the song that I'm going to play for you is called Soy Boy, from the album of the same, from the Bellow Cranes album. They're out of Indianapolis, Indiana. Consists of Pat Collins on vocals, guitars, and keyboards, Rocky Rodriguez on drums and percussion, and Cecily Terhune on bass. You can get all their information you could possibly want on them on bellowcranes.com. All their information. They've got videos and photos and bios and all kinds of neat stuff. Maybe some adult language in this song. But some of the reviews that you'll read about them, they all say these guys and gals, they're doing some very serious, smart music and lyrics here. So let's check it out. This is the Bellow Cranes with Soy Boy.
Just a soy boy, and you're tougher than I am. Just a soy boy, and I'll never understand why you have to be a wall of stone without emotion on your own. A soy boy, but at least I'm not like you. See the vein in your forehead. I read your pissed off Twitter thread. So sorry that I caused you grief. I let my girlfriend drive. When we go out, we'll split the bill without a doubt. Explain to me that I may know just how to melt this flake of snow. 'Cause I'm a soy boy, another beta piece of trash. Just a soy boy. Would you like to kiss my ass? Well, I know I fill you up with rain, but have you tried some intense just soy boy? But at least I'm not like you. At least I'm not like you. At least I'm not like you. At least I'm not like you.
All right, there is Soy Boy by the Bellow Cranes out of Indianapolis, Indiana. And little upbeat pop tempo for you. What'd you think, Jim?
Well, when you said Indianapolis, did you not?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Indianapolis, Indiana. So the first thing that comes to my head when you said that was I'm thinking like, oh, here's some like freaking drunk Hoosiers who like hanging out in the snake pit at the 500, getting drunk. And you said soy boy, and I'm like, oh, they're going to be ripping on some kind of soy boy. And it was completely the opposite.
Yeah.
It's my California stereotype speaking here. I don't know what. Smart.
Yeah.
Everything you just said.
Yeah.
Smart. I really liked it. Love the progression. And I especially like that sweet little background vocal in there.
There you go.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Subtle, right? But it just really added to it.
Yeah. It's almost a complete song. It just had a little bit of everything going on in there. Yeah.
So totally not what I expected, right? The kind of embracing that, embracing that soy boy attitude in there, right? And turning it back like, hey, I might be all those things, but at least I'm not like you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You Neanderthal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done, guys.
All
Hey, gal.
right. Jerry, thoughts?
Concur with Jaime. Very delightful. I love the backing vocals. I love that lead vocal out on top. Great musicianship, well recorded, well constructed, great lyrics, and very subtly in the background, the cowbell.
There you go.
I love it. I love it. That is pure sunshine in a song. That's great. That's great. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, I love it. And again, check out everything, bellowcranes.com, and you can get all their information. We'll put that link on our YouTube page so you can click right on it and check out their videos and some of their live photos and different things. It's a nice little band you got there.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Bellow Cranes.
Jerry said everything I left out.
There it is. Yep.
Yes. Well done. Well
that's
recorded,
fantastic.
Engineered.
Yeah. All right. Let's instead of, again, the classic album, we're saving that. Jim, let's jump right into your song this week.
Okay.
And this was kind of out of left field.
Was it?
For me, it was. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is the High Frequencies. And you might know them by their former name, the 7 and 6, who we featured on here a couple of times.
Oh.
So little new lineup. It's Lisa Michaels, obviously, on vocals and guitar, Tom Richards on guitar, Scott Richards on bass, Ricky Tubb on drums. And so they are now a 4-piece, and they have recently signed to Gem Records. They've got a new album coming out. I don't know if this is going to be the lead-off single from the record, but they already have a video and have put this up on YouTube, and I loved it. So I reached out and said, hey, can I get maybe a copy of that for the podcast? And they said absolutely. So this song is called 11. Go ahead and throw the needle in the groove there, Frank.
Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, baby, go, go, go. Maybe you don't care or maybe you don't know. Shake 'em up high where you want 'em to go. Let 'em feel the music embedded in your soul. Sentimental world are gonna tell you so. Hey, hey. Feel the vibe, baby, get in the glam. Every falling angel's grabbing at your hands. Ready to dive, getting deeper in. They'll finally get a piece of everywhere you've been. You got a sweet sensation underneath your skin. Oh, can you hear me? I'm on a one-way drive. Let's turn it up to 11. Let's set this thing on One, 2, 3, baby, go, go, go. Maybe you don't care or maybe you don't know. The sound is so bright, that's always been the show. Breaking down the barriers we used to know. To get a little closer where you wanna go. Alright, can you hear me? I'm on a one-way drive. Let's turn it up to 11. Let's set this thing on fire. Alright.
2 minutes. What? There's
Right
11.
in Jaime's wheelhouse. Yeah, turn it up to 11.
Shocking, right?
The High Frequencies. The song is 11 because I think it was cranked up to 11. It really was.
Yes, it was.
Nice.
Little bit of a Spinal Tap influence there.
Nice.
Yep.
Very nice.
Nigel Tufnell. Yeah, thank you.
No, the reason I said you had threw me a for a loop there is you sent the song to me, and it was an MP3 that didn't have a title or a band name, and I threw it on, gave it a listen, and it sounded familiar, but yet I couldn't put my finger on it. That's why I said,
Yeah.
"Do you have a title? Do you have a picture? Do you help me out here?" Sure enough, yeah, good rock pop, just good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And in 2 minutes, imagine that.
Late. As Jaime would say, that's all you need.
Wow. Yeah.
I think that is all you need. Any more of that, and it would just be it's just perfection.
Good stuff. Looking forward to that album coming out.
Yes.
All right. Okay, and right now, I don't know. Are they on Bandcamp or on any social medias? Do you know of, Jim?
The album hasn't been released yet, so
okay. So we'll have to wait and see. And I know, again, searching the name, the High Frequencies, that's going to be one of those names that there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot of church groups. I looked up. There was all kinds of
HIGH.
Yeah.
Yeah.
High frequencies.
Yeah.
And if you were following the 7 and 6 on Facebook,
they changed their name already. Okay. Okay. Very good. All right. Let's jump into our classic album. And we're going to talk a little bit about the 3 o'clock and Baroque Hoedown. This is the new expanded edition.
2020 remaster.
Right.
Yeah, remaster. Yeah.
Now, the original came out, what, 82, 83, something like that?
I think it was 83.
I want to say 83.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
I should have grabbed my copy.
Had 5 tunes on it. It was an EP. It was their first album as a 3 o'clock after, I guess, the Salvation Army, which they were formerly known by, sent them a cease and desist, I guess. And
something like that.
Something like that. Something, a story I was more familiar with. Remember Green Jello? That was a band.
I remember Green Jello.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. I remember that.
Became Green Jelly.
Best Foods got on their case and said, no, you can't use that name. That's ours. So they became Green Jelly. These guys went to the 3 o'clock. So, and another thing, again, and I'm not real hip on the ins and outs of the band. What I've learned about the 3 o'clock, and I'm not going to be shy about it, is basically from the Paisley Stage Raspberry and Rhyme podcast.
Sure.
Of course, we know Michael Curcio. He's the one that allegedly coined the phrase the Paisley Underground. And what I never connected the dots, even though Soraya and Jeff both mentioned it. Greg Gutierrez, who played guitars and vocals on here, goes by the name Luis also.
Yes.
And again, I don't know if I've got dementia or what, but somewhere in my head, I thought they were brothers, right? And so I always thought
they are one and the same.
They are one and the same. Yeah. And I said, that is so cool that both these guys play guitar and we're in all these influential bands, and come to find out it's one dude.
It's one guy.
So Greg.
I found out something interesting by going to that Q&A.
Mm-hmm.
The person who convinced him to change his name was one very famous woman who was in a band at the same time. Susanna Hoffs.
There you go.
He was dating.
They were together at the time.
They were a thing.
Very good. Produced by Earl Mankey. Man,
yes.
You talk about
excuse me.
I know, I think Jim, you and I have talked about this in the past, where he's kind of been slighted a little bit because he used his own personal studio instead of what others would say is a proper recording studio. But I think at his house, he's got a fairly nice setup. I wouldn't doubt. I don't think he's using realistic recorders. You know what I'm saying? He's got a real studio, and played on the first 2 Sparks album. He was part of that. He's produced the Runaways, just a list of Beach Boys. Something I read this morning that for me, it was pretty cool. Also, the Lazy Cowgirls, who a buddy of mine, Pat Todd, was involved in, and he's now, of course, Pat Todd, the Rank Outsiders.
Right.
So just the list goes on. And fantastic work of art here. So they repressed, redid the whole thing, came out on a red translucent vinyl. You gotta love that, don't you?
Oh yeah,
Isn't that
sure
nice?
do.
Good old Yip Rock. Um, now, did you have the original album, Jim, with the 5 tunes on it?
I have the original
You have the original.
5 songs.
Okay. Now, as far as now, Jerry and I have talked about this, and I almost hate to say it because it's almost a knock, and I don't mean to knock Michael Curcio.
We said
My,
the same thing, Jaime. Though is why it's.
Go ahead
I
and tell
think.
him. You'll come out of your
Well,
mouth a lot easier than mine.
yeah, because I could care less who I offend. But no, I mean that. I told Frank, Jaime. Uh, I said, and sorry, Michael, sorry, Luis. Um, I said, Frank, it sounds like he's trying to be too British, and I thought that was my problem. And Frank said, I think the same thing. So it's not a knock, but it was. I forgot what tune it was, but anyway, I guess what Frank can edit it if you want to edit it out, Frank.
Nope.
But I said it to Frank Hyman. I go, it just seems to me like he's trying to be British. And then Frank's looked elated because he was thinking the same thing. He goes, that's exactly what I thought.
Just too forced.
So I don't know what that. There you go.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing. I listened to I dropped my daughter off at the airport yesterday and listened to that album. I was in traffic 2 hours, so I heard that album play through like 6 times. But I like the album, but it's just that little thing, Jaime. I go, it sounds like he's trying to be British.
Strange.
So
I don't think
I
he's
don't know.
trying. I think that's his natural singing voice. I've heard him do it live, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well,
The
good
way
then.
it sounds, and
yeah, I just
we've always said like when Brits sing, they sound like they're American.
English.
But
yeah.
It's like for him, it's like in reverse. He sounds like a Brit when he sings.
Good. Well,
What a
I
great
know,
album. Like
I know he's got a
I
love for the
that.
Beatles and a love for that era of music. And that's my only knock on it is I love the style of the music because it is a 60s vibe. It's got those type of guitar riffs and things that take you back to that, even though they admitted we weren't trying to make a 60s record. We're trying to make an 80s record.
Right.
But it sounds 60s. Any way you slice it, it's
I loved it. I said, I was in the car 2 hours, Jaime, and this is a good album for as far as how long each song is.
Yeah.
So believe me, I went through that album 5 or 6 times, and
right.
So I don't dislike it. I like it. It's just Frank and I had the same thing. I said, it's neither here nor there. So
I know on all their records he sounds the same. So it's not a fake thing.
No, I guess that's how it comes out. Yeah.
But it doesn't sound natural after, especially we had him on the show and hearing him talk. He
talks on a very high register. I mean, he's.
But again, the music on this album, the covers that they did, they're almost spot on. They don't vary from the originals hardly at all. And I don't know if that's a bad thing or if it's a good thing. When you do a cover, I think you want to try to own it a little bit for your own. I think what they did here is they paid tribute to the originals to a T.
Yeah. Good album. Yeah.
So I enjoyed it, and I would love to try to get an understanding of With a Cantaloupe Girlfriend. In 2023, that has a meaning that's very strange, and I don't know if it was meant the way I'm thinking it was meant.
I don't know what you're referring to. So
I know you don't.
I'm gonna have to look up Urban Dictionary when this is all over.
Yeah, I think American Pie. Yeah, I just don't know.
Oh,
yeah,
like nothing.
I never saw that, but I think
it's like Nothing to Lose by Kiss. You find out what it's about, you're like, oh man.
Yeah, but I don't think that's really what he's saying. I could be wrong. I don't know.
Now I gotta look it up too. Yeah.
See what Jeff and Soraya think about if that is what it. Because I noticed on the videos they put out that was Pat Thomas's favorite song, and I think that's the reason why. But I still would like to get to know that meaning. What were your thoughts
Yeah.
overall on the record, Jim?
I like it. And a couple of things that I really noticed that stood out for me. Danny Benaire, great drumming, and
Excellent.
that snare sound that Earl got on there is just wonderful. Just
Yeah.
cuts through.
Very tight. Yeah.
And I was reminded very much of like what a really good bass player Michael is, right? You think of him as the singer, right, and the bass player, but like he really plays some fantastic riffs on this record.
Right.
Just so good.
Yeah. I like I said, I don't think there's a real weak song on here. It gets down to preferences of what you like and what you're used to. Like I said, I enjoyed the covers they did. And Sorry is my favorite song on that album. And,
Oh, really?
Yeah, and again, the Easy Beats, when you go listen to them, they from Australia, and you would never know it. But they did they're it's just spot on to how the Easy Beats did it. Really enjoyed it. That's just me. Like I said, I was glad that they added the other songs on to make a full, complete album.
Yeah.
Because from what I read, I guess they got full 24-bit recordings of those original tunes.
Oh,
That's
wow.
why they sound so good. They were able to make them instead of having, having to bake something off of an old tape.
Yeah.
You get what you get, and tape noise and everything else. Somehow or another, they had some 24-bit recordings of it, and they came out nice.
Yeah, the record sounds good.
Yeah,
it does.
It came home, threw it on the turntable, and I was like, wow, it just sounds really nice.
Yeah, I agree. Off top of your head, Jerry, did you have a favorite song on that album?
Absolutely. I Go Wild.
Yeah, very good.
Love it, love it, love it, love it.
Yeah, good deal. And Jim, what about you?
Well, I've already revealed mine on the Paisley stage Raspberry and Rhyme thing they did.
Right.
Yeah, I Go Wild. I love that song.
Oh,
yeah.
And I found out somewhat later, I think Michael posted up a video of that song, and he goes, I never really thought much of this song, but I think the vast majority of people that night that Jeff and Sarai were talking to all said I Go Wild.
Right.
And it's my fave.
Very good.
Fave.
Yeah. Were there any misses for you that you would say, I don't have to listen to that one every time I play this record?
I like all the songs on it. That's just the thing. I was really surprised at how much I like Lucifer Sam. The only thing I don't like about it is that it sounds like a demo. It sounds kind of unfinished.
Not as complete, right?
It's not near as polished as some of the rest of the record.
Right.
But I mean, it's a great song, and it's got some great bass playing on it.
Great bass playing and a great guitar riff as well.
Yeah,
it's a very '60s guitar riff. I likened it to put this album on, and I think I said it before, is like watching, a long episode of Batman, because this and the Easy Beats, all those '60s styles of music.
Oh yeah, just
like where's Adam West when you need him? Yeah, just love it.
That's it.
What was your favorite song, Frank?
Sorry.
Oh, yours was Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. And again, I don't have anything that I'll skip. They're all
not
great
a long record.
No, not at all.
No,
but it's they did good for a debut EP to how it started. That's a good way to go by far.
40 years ago. Yeah, 40 years ago.
Hard to believe. 40 years
old. You talk about they're trying to make an 80s record, right? I mean, as real as that's a good bit of psychedelic music right there, right?
Yeah. And they didn't necessarily consider themselves a psychedelic band. They just thought they were pop rock.
Yeah.
I liked it. Like I said, I played it on the drive from the airport, folks. And I went through it, however long 2 hours is for this album, it's at least 5 or 6 times through.
I'll tell you what.
And I left it on the whole time. I didn't have any problems. I didn't, do a skip. I liked it. So,
I would rather listen to that 5 or 6 times than any Bruce Springsteen album one time.
Here we go. Well, the way he goes, I could have taken that 2-hour drive and heard one album.
That's what I'm saying.
Right? Sorry,
no,
Bruce.
totally.
I'm not getting any drive time, so I've fallen off the Springsteen thing. I think I've got like 2 or 3 records left to get through.
Oh, what a stalwart! What a trooper, Jaime, that you did all of that.
Thank you. Yeah, for dropping off. Oh. No, you did. You stuck with it for
2 weeks, Frank? Every day for
13
10
albums,
days
14,
at least?
something?
12?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got up through, I think, 18 records.
18.
I had no idea he had that many out.
Yeah.
21 studio albums.
Right.
It doesn't include all the live stuff and everything.
And it seems like he would do an album and then do a live album for it, and because when you look on iTunes, you just scroll and he's got.
Yeah, you can scroll for a while on Springsteen.
He's a workhorse. You got to give it to him for that.
Well, yeah, you do. Yep.
So when I'm feeling a little better and I'm not working so hard from home or whatever, I'll get through the rest of those. I promise.
Good for you.
Good impressive right now. Yeah. Because Frank and I aren't going to do it.
Not terrible. I mean, he's got some real gems like scattered throughout all his records, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was the problem. Is I was trying
that many albums, that many number ones. He lost me after about 5 or 6 albums, Frank. I was like, man, I didn't know that. In
my old age, about 3 o'clock is the time I sit down and rest. And I put the earbuds in and I would put on whatever album Jim was listening to. And I would wake up and it was just finishing. And I never could make it through an album awake because he's a droner, and everything's slow and steady. And he's telling his stories and I'm out, And so if I tried to do it on the treadmill, it felt like I was walking slow. Yeah. So I gave up.
He's all about the lyrics and he's all about the story of the song.
The story,
right.
Yeah.
Right. If ever there was a sad sack in the world, it's Bruce Springsteen.
It's not like 2 minutes of the high frequencies, right?
Right.
No.
Gotta get to the point. What are we doing? We're turning up to 11. We're having a great time.
Right. Bruce don't have a great time. Yeah. Bruce tells a sad story every time. It's
a lot of sad stories, man. I'm telling you.
I know that's how he sees America. Yeah. And I'm thinking, man, for as great of a life as you have, man, turn on the light, man. Come on.
It's just not that dark out.
Excuse me.
Oh, it isn't.
I'm still having a good time.
Me too.
Yeah. Same here.
So we are going to get together with Jeff and Soraya. We will talk about Baroque Hoedown, and they will have a whole lot more information than I could get on Wikipedia, I'm sure. So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to their take on just that record, but the Pink Floyd record we're going to talk about as well.
Yeah.
So you guys make sure you hunker down and listen to that particular album.
Oh yeah.
And the Easy Beats.
The Easy Beats. Yeah, that one's a fun one.
I did a sample of the Easy Beats. That was neat. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Floyd debut. Pink Floyd debut with Sid.
Yep. Piper at the Gates of Dawn. It's not an easy listen if you're not a Pink Floyd fan because it is slow and steady and there's some psychedelic stuff in there.
I know how to get in the mood for Floyd.
Yeah, I know you do. There it is there. So okay. Now Jerry, we will need a classic album from you.
I have it, but I thought we were going to wait. So however you want to do it, I'm ready to go.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and hear who you have. And we're not going to be talking about it this next episode. It'll be like episode 114 or something like that. But it gives us a couple weeks to check it out.
Well, since that master class on the 3 o'clock, you guys got me to thinking, which is an epic feat on your part, both of you. But I'm going to go with introducing the Beau Brummels.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Okay.
1965 out of San Francisco, America's answer to the Beatles, among other bands.
You know you've made it when you end up on an episode of the Flintstones.
There it is.
Oh, they did.
They did.
Wow. Now I got to check out
my Beau Brummelstones or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
probably saw that cartoon when I was a kid and didn't associate. Well, yeah, didn't associate it, obviously.
But
the debut introducing their. Oh, that's them in Bedrock.
I don't know if that's the one or not.
Okay,
no, not that one.
I thought he was doing somebody like Elvis in that episode. But yeah, the debut introducing the Beau Brummels from Frisco.
Yep. I like it. Thank you for picking that.
Nice pick.
Thank you for steering me down. You guys steered me down the old 3 o'clock pathway.
Good deal.
Because that's what got those old brain cells firing. Was like, let's go back there. I just went that type of music.
I'd be interested to see if Jerry would be interested in the Rain Parade or even Dream Syndicate.
Well, I bet I would. Again, folks, on Conspiracy Land, due to Memorial Day, my daughter visited for a week. I love you, sweetie. 2-hour drive home from LAX. I said, well, let me run that by again. And it went through 4 or 5 times, probably more. I didn't stop. I listened to it all the way till I got home. And I liked it. It takes me back to a time and place. Like Jaime said, that music takes my mind back to certain things in life, when life was much more innocent, no bills. Yeah. So, but yeah, the 3 o'clock Dream Syndicate, I'm wide open, guys. I don't mind that at all. Yeah. I'm good.
I know there's lots of jangly guitars on that.
Jangly.
But I love the guitar riffs myself. I love those 60s riffs.
I do too. Yeah.
Matter what style they're trying to play. That's what I like.
Yeah. Good stuff.
All right. Well, you have anything else, Jerry, before we cut out?
Yeah, folks, and thanks for hanging with us. We were a little bit late with this episode, but yeah, folks, it's all out there. We just listened to the 3 o'clock with the Baroque Hoedown. We just had new bands, Professor Electric, the Bellow Cranes, and the High Frequencies. There's tons of good music out there. Bandcamp, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. It's all out there. We appreciate you watching and listening to our podcast, and keep rocking, folks, out in Conspiracy Land. Keep rocking. We love you very much. Thank you. And welcome back, Jaime. Yeah.
Yes, most definitely. As soon as this episode is over, check out right afterwards. We got a little tribute to Jim. And but for the most part, I hope everybody, enjoyed this episode. Look forward to the next one. And stay fresh, cheese bags. Jim, what about you?
Well, if you made it this far, man, smash that like button, subscribe, ring that notification bell. We will subtly slide into your DMs every 2 weeks unless somebody ends up in the hospital. And it'll probably be 3 weeks.
Again.
Yep. All right. Well, if there's anything else, Jim, why don't you take us on home?
Shop is closed.
board wasn't there. I crashed on the ground since I